When a person does something toxic, when a person does something unkind, and their behavior is bothering you, but you notice that when you correct them on their behavior, they tend to cry and you tend to feel bad. And so you stop correcting their behaviors and you stop addressing the things that they do to you that are awful, and you just let them do that. I want you to do this. Number one, if you have to deal with this person, this is what I want you to do. In part one, I shared how to address the situation in terms of giving them an opportunity to gather themselves. In this part two, we're going to talk about how to handle it when you are now ready to revisit the conversation and they start to cry again or try to find other ways to manipulate the situation. I want you to address it, but this time you're going to move a little differently. The next time you address it and they start to cry, say this to them. Begin quote. I recognize that people tend to side with the person that is the most emotional. With that being said, I am moving forward in this conversation and addressing those toxic behaviors. End quote. What that does is you're showing compassion, especially if there's a third party that is witnessing this. You are showing compassion. You are also acknowledging that they are emotional, and you are also communicating that you understand that people do typically side with the person that is the most emotional. And what that does is it lets the person know that you are aware of the universal scheme that is done by toxic people. That there is a universal pattern of accepting a person's behavior if they tend to be emotional. And it also challenges the third party that is witnessing this to think differently and think outside of that. But you are also addressing that you did something toxic and you are giving them the space to get themselves together so that they can actually be corrected. Now, when you follow up and have that conversation with them again and address their toxic behaviors and the tears start to appear again, do not say you're sorry. Do not apologize for correcting them. Do not stop talking to them. Say what you need to say. Even if they cry, the tears could fall like Niagara Falls. Do not stop talking because they do need to hear what you have to say. Because you do deserve the right to communicate your feelings. You deserve the right to speak up for yourself. You are not wrong for that. And you've already given them an opportunity to get themselves together. So now we are dealing with the issue head on. Do not feel bad for setting boundaries. Do not feel bad for checking people. Do not feel bad about that. You owe it to yourself to correct people that disrespect you. You owe it to yourself to shut down toxic behaviors. You owe it to yourself to call people out on their foolishness. You owe it to yourself to say no when you don't want to do something. You have the right not to want to do something, and you also do not have to explain yourself. People will try to make you feel as if you have to explain your decision to them. You do not. If they try to make you feel guilty, if they start projecting, if they start saying things like, you don't really care about me, you don't care about my feelings, you are a selfish person, this is unfair, this is manipulative, they may even call you a narcissist. They may even try to get other people to think the worst of you. They may even try to destroy your reputation. And this is what I want you to keep in mind. None of what they are saying is true. They are projecting. And the people that are supposed to be your friends and loved ones, they are always going to come to you to get your side of the story. They are always going to do that. If they never do that and they side with this person without hearing your side of the story, they were never your friends and loved ones. And so this toxic person actually did you a favor by getting themselves as well as the other people out of your life. Toxic people have a way of, in a conversation, they don't stay on topic. They will say whatever they have to say to either affect your feelings or distract you from dealing with the subject matter. As I said in part one, do not be afraid to say to them, that is not what we are talking about. We are going to stick with one subject matter at a time. There is nothing wrong with saying that. Do not let them distract you and take you all over the world in this conversation. If they attempt to walk away from you, you say to them, this conversation may be over, but I meant what I said. And be done. If they start to interrupt you, you say to them, I cannot have a conversation with a person that is interrupting me. With that being said, this conversation is over, and I meant what I said. And however the conversation ends, whether you walk away or they walk away first, if they are still talking, none of what they are saying matters. Do not respond to anything. Just walk away and stay gone and be done. If they try to disrespect you, then you end the conversation. You say, my judgment finds these responses very disrespectful, and because of that, this conversation is ending, but I meant what I said. Or, my judgment finds the things that you are saying to be disrespectful, and because of that, this conversation is over. With that being said, my answer is still and will always be no. Sometimes you have to be tough with people, especially if they are trying to take advantage or be unkind to you. And as far as the toxic person saying to you that you're mean and you're unkind and all of the negative things that they could possibly say, I want you to keep this in mind. As I said in part 1, it does not matter what a toxic person thinks of you. If there is any particular subject that you want me to cover, I will. You can put it in the comments, or you can send me an email at thelifecoachjimmy@gmail.com. All one word. And if you would like a life coaching session, feel free to send me an email at thelifecoachjimmy@gmail.com. I am so grateful that you took the time to listen to this. Please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe.